One of the best things about Marvel's Rivals right now is that pretty much every character right now is OP, but who is the most OP? Today we're taking a look at the top 10 strongest ultimates in Marvel's Rivals. Stick till the end, cause I think the number 1 spot is really going to surprise you. Number 10. Bucky, aka Winter Soldier. We all know what it's like to hear Bucky scream at the top of his lungs. And we're all thinking, no Bucky, please not again. The insane amount of times he can chain it, added to its actual strength, just makes it that strong. Once he gets his ult chain going, it's truly one of the best in the game. It has insane squad wipe potential and even then deals great damage. So it absolutely deserves a spot in the top 10. Number 9. Hawkeye. This might be a surprise pick for you, but for a good Hawkeye, this is almost like a guaranteed squad wipe. Just having essentially stationary targets for you to shoot and take out key targets in the game, like healers, tanks, or whatever you choose, is insane and definitely deserves a spot in the top 10. At number 8 we got Scarlet Witch. Anyone who's been victim to one of these, I think would agree with this placement. It might not be the very strongest ult due to its high vulnerability, and yes, you can dodge it if you're aware enough, but a lot of the times you'll be completely oblivious, especially in low elos and in the middle of the heat of battle. It can be easy to just get completely caught off guard by it and die before you even know what hit you. It's got a huge team wipe potential, and in the right hands, that definitely makes up for its vulnerability in my opinion. Number 7. We got Iron Man. This is very hit or miss, but basically a guaranteed one-shot if used correctly. Pairing it with Doctor Strange's portal gets rid of its biggest weakness, being its vulnerability, which is a lower vulnerability than Scarlet Witch, which puts it one place above her. What more can I really say? I mean, we all know what a good place Iron Man ult can do to a team. At number 6 we have Punisher. With his ult, you essentially become an unstoppable force of nature that also has strong defensive abilities. This ult allows you to melt through entire enemy teams, like you're in Diablo farming enemies for XP or something. His only real weakness is that you can sometimes be killed and taken out of your ult before you're even able to make a huge impact, but this is more on you than on the actual ult. I would say it's absolutely in your top 10 and you're out of your mind if you wouldn't put it here. Entering the top 5, at number 5 we're going to have Hela. Her ult is so strong, basically just for being able to sit in the sky and shoot down on enemies, where every single shot is basically a whole Thor ult, if we're exaggerating a little bit. But still, every single shot is so strong. You aren't immortal, but killing you would essentially require the whole team to focus you. Ask yourself, have you ever taken a Hela out of her ult? Or been taken out of it as a Hela? Probably not. A Hela popping her ult in the right moment, in the right position, can be such a deciding factor in what team is dominating the match. Next off, at number 4, we're gonna have Doctor Strange. A team-wide stun with big range and solid duration is all I have to say, I think, to justify its placement in the top 5. On top of that, the stun also creates a second hitbox for the enemy that makes it even easier to shoot them while they're vulnerable. There's no singular situation where Doctor Strange's ult isn't good. It often causes a squad wipe, and even if it doesn't, it still sets one up with the amount of damage enemies usually take while stunned. The only downside is its short wind-up time that leaves you really vulnerable for like freezes and stuns by characters like Mantis, Luna Snow and others that have stuns in their kit. Entering the top 3, we have a character that you've probably been wondering where I'm gonna place him in this list. We have Jeff the Shark. While I wouldn't say it's necessarily the strongest in the game, we've all seen the clips. This ult has one of the best squad wipe potentials in the game. If you don't include Jeff's ult in your top 10, I don't know what you're smoking, cause it definitely deserves a spot in it. It does have some counterplay, as players have started figuring out the game more and more, like with Doctor Strange's portal and stuff. But it's still amazing in terms of strength. You can almost always get value out of it, taking out some key characters in your opponent's team. Now, at number 2, we're going to have actually 2 characters, who both their ults are so similar in strength that I can't justify putting one above the other in a ranking like this. We're going to have Mantis and Luna Snow. Their ults essentially makes your team unkillable for a certain duration. It's good in any given situation. It allows you to go for pushes in highly contested areas or defend your team in tight spots. You can also just pop it when some of your teammates are low and you can't heal them both at the same time. Just pop your ult and your team is just in a better place than it was before. It benefits you in every single situation in the game that I could think of, and this is what places it at number 2 for me. The only ult that takes the edge above this might be a big surprise for many. At number 1, we're going to have Cloak and Dagger. Like I said, this might be a big surprise for many, but for those who know how to utilize it fully, this shouldn't be a big surprise. If you dash over the same place repeatedly, you can essentially create a big area in which both allies are essentially immortal and enemies take lots of damage. The combination of being able to deal huge damage and giving infinite heal for a certain duration in a big AoE area is what makes this the number 1 most OP ult in the game, in my opinion. You might have seen some TikToks or clips of this ult being utilized correctly, and when you do, it's absolutely game changing and game winning. It does have a little bit of a skill floor, because to really make it the best, you're going to have to utilize it this way. Otherwise, it gets beaten by a bunch of other ults, but if you use it this way, yeah, it's the best. Let me know if you disagree with any of the picks, because I'm sure you do. Like, there's some honorable mentions, like maybe Hulk or also Magic have some pretty strong ults. If you feel like there's one that had to be in the top 10 that I left out, let me know in the comments. Or maybe you just want to swap around some placements. Maybe you think, I don't know, Scarlet Witch deserves a higher placement. If you're excited to see more challenge or also tier list content about Marvel's Rivals or other games, definitely consider subscribing. Leave a like and a comment. I really enjoy when you guys leave comments, because I don't know, I just love it. It just brings me more joy than anything else, to be honest. And I hope I'll see you again in the next one. See you.